Hi, this is DEDMan. If you're watching this video, I assume you're old enough to see gore, violence, swearing, and general adult content. If you aren't old enough, come back with some ID.
Or a fake one.
Ugh.
So, now we've taken two journeys. One to stop the darkness from spreading, and the other to put all the lost hearts back where they belong. To tell the truth, neither one was easy, but I sure was glad to be the cricket to write down what happened. Two journeys, both sitting quiet right here in these two books. But now, looks like the only thing left in one of them is a single line.
Dearly beloved is always a win.
Goodbye.
No, not goodbye. When I wake up, I'll find you.
A small recap to show where we are starting in the story. While the opening cinematic acts like a greatest hits of Kingdom Hearts, it's still a cool intro and gives us the information that we will probably be diving into old scenarios and memories right off.
So, now we've taken two journeys. One to stop the darkness from spreading, and the other to put all the lost hearts back where they belong.
Technically, we're up to 5 trips, but 2 of those the main group wasn't a part of, and the last they don't remember.
Two journeys, both sitting quiet right here in these two books. But now, looks like the only thing left in one of them is a single line.
Call back to Chain of Memories. It's actually a bummer since I never realized this means the journal he worked so hard on in Kingdom Hearts 1 is completely gone. I had always assumed that just the Chain of Memories portion was erased, but sadly that's not the case. This cryptic message is a new discovery that speaks of Sora mending the hearts of the Birth by Sleep and Days trio.
All the other pages are completely blank.
Sure, the words you wrote are gone, but that doesn't mean the journal is empty.
Fun fact, this is the same sentiment about a hard drive. You can still erase data off of it, but unless you format it with a hammer, the data's still there. Digitizing Jiminy's journal is an awesome setup for the story. Dang it, Jiminy, this is why you don't draw porn? In the diary?
The joke doesn't work as well here, does it?
I mean, there's a computer and viruses. People will get it, right?
Don't know, but I'm taking a win off on principle.
That's fair.
Isn't there something else we can try?
Gorsh, maybe if we could get in there somehow and fix the data, we could figure out what's wrong.
Hey, that's it! We could look for somebody already in the journal and ask them to explore the world and repair the data. That's a great idea, Goofy!
Leave it to Goofy to have the best idea inadvertently. Data homage to Kingdom Hearts 1.
Are you saying he's not the same Sora we met on our journey before?
Technically yes, but also no.
We've never met before, but you seem to know who I am, and we're friends. Is that it? I don't understand.
You see, I'm from another world, and gosh, it's kind of a long story.
Ordinarily, this might feel like a cop-out, but in this instance, yes, it is a long story, and we have a journal to debug.
After talking to your friends on the beach, you figured out that more mysterious blocks were popping up all over the island.
A nice thing about this movie is the text parts are voiced now.
What's that bright light? Look!
Oh look, Mickey booted up a Bandai Namco game.
This world has been connected.
Kingdom Hearts 1 homage.
There's a road for the taking. If you end, our world's aching.
I don't understand that. Is it a riddle?
Oh, Sora, it doesn't matter if it's the real you or the data you. You're always a lovable doof. Since there's not any gameplay to be had here, it's actually cool to see these bigger fights fought out in cutscene form.
Gee, now that can't be right. If the data was repaired, we should be seeing the things that were written inside my journal, right? But what we just saw, that never happened. Or at least I never wrote it down.
Apparently, Jiminy's journal has some deleted scenes. It may mostly be unnecessary, but it's still cool to see these things.
The source of the glitches for the world you're in might be inside that keyhole.
When playing the actual game, it's fun to find bugged out sections and jump inside to fix them.
Use my power?
Goofy's scared reaction is to jump on the chair, and I find that hilarious. Data Riku's got a hell of an entrance.
I took the liberty of importing all of you to help solve the mystery of this entry.
Imported? Where?
You really haven't noticed?
Huh?
Oh?
All right.
Datascape? We're in the journal?
Data Riku was tired of roaming the Matrix by himself, so he brought in his friends.
I don't understand it all, but basically this means you guys can't go home, right? Okay, then I'll go bash the bugs for you.
There's Sora in a nutshell. Knows nothing about any technology, and is willing to help out his friends.
So long, Spike. Go find a bucket and kick it.
Who's that?
Must you always be so exasperating, my dear child? Do you require a reminder of my past?
Fun reminder that Maleficent is actually terrifying.
Yes, my loyal minions. Drag all that you see into deepest darkness!
Riku and King Mickey to the rescue.
It does seem, for once you may have done something right.
Compliments?
My Keyblade's gone, but I'm still gonna help.
I love how thematically appropriate it is for Data Sora to not have his Keyblade at the start of Hollow Bastion.
Here I come, Sora! Hustlers be gone!
Goofy to the rescue.
What are you talking about? You don't need to apologize to us.
Huh?
Actually, we kinda like getting dragged into your messes.
You like it? But why?
Because it's no fun watching from the other side of the screen. We wanted to go on an adventure with you like old times.
You don't need a Keyblade, Sora, when you have us with you.
Aw, I love how their friendship transcends everything. Like, that's not their Sora, but they do everything they can to help him out.
I have the Keyblade again. I'm gonna help you find a way back.
Is that the reason? Or do you just want to try your new power, Sora?
Hey, it can be both.
Hurry, Sora. If you leave now, you can make it out. I don't want to hurt you. You have to go.
Riku, I get it. There's still just enough time.
Right.
Great. Since there's escape time, that means there's enough time to stop the bugs and help you, right?
What? I didn't mean that.
Come on, this is me here. You didn't really think I'd just give up and leave you like this.
Data Sora is just as good a friend as IRL Sora.
I thought it might try to exploit the darkness that's been lurking inside of me. I've been envious of what you have, always surrounded by friends who trust you completely.
One nice thing ReCoded does is help contextualize further what was not spoken out loud in Kingdom Hearts. Riku's turn to darkness was partially because he felt alone, like Sora had replaced him. It's not much, since, duh, we knew this 5 games ago, but it's nice that it's actually stated with no doubt.
Our adventure may not be found in the journal, but you'll always find us in your hearts. No matter what happens, we'll be right here.
This just goes to show that all versions of Sora are saps, and I love it.
Both Maleficent and Pete are still inside the datascape, too. We can't let them be deleted, can we?
Even if I've never been their biggest fan, they're not made of data. We have got to find a way to save them.
Even if it may be deserved, Mickey won't let Maleficent or Pete be deleted, and that's admirable. The dark side covered in computer code looks epic.
Sayonara to the 1, 2, 3 of you. I'm out. See you chumps on the other side.
Don't ask me why this gets a win. I had a fit of laughter when I saw this, and legally, I'm obligated to give it a win for that.
A book? Known as the Ancient Book of Prophecies. It's said to be capable of transcribing events that have yet to take place.
Setting up Union Cross and back cover. Aww, Data Sora is sweet. Also, the music box version of Dearly Beloved, normally used with the ending stat screen, is a nice touch to the end of the adventure. Well, mostly. There's still a few more things left.
You say you accept it? It's not a game! It's way past time that you learned what real hurt feels like!
While this is just the Data version of Roxas, it channels his feelings perfectly, with his time being alive questioning his existence and feeling the pain of not being his own complete person. Jesse McCartney does a great portrayal of the hurt in his voice.
So what exactly is going on here?
Sora says the thing that everyone says when talking about the series.
These are my memories?
Actually, no, they're not yours. They belong to people who are connected to you.
Huh? Isn't it weird for somebody else's memories to be inside me?
Yes. Usually it's impossible.
Because Sora's heart has come into contact with so many people, most notably the Days Trio, Naminé, and the Birth by Sleep Trio, that caused the journal to glitch out from the time that Naminé had to seal away Sora's memory. This also explains why it took a year to fix.
They are important. And yet, dangerous too.
Naminé, how are they dangerous?
These memories, all of them are too painful. Handled the wrong way, they could damage Sora's heart, even break it. That's why I needed for Sora to find a way to face that kind of hurt. So I left the message for all of you.
We finally get to the crux of the game, and while there's not a lot going on here, I do like this premise.
You don't have to understand it. You have already learned how to face the hurt, Sora.
I did?
You most certainly did. At times, the pain can be wiped away. But there's also a pain that always stays with you. There's only one way to deal with that. You face it head on, and then you accept it. And if it happens that the hurt is too great for you to bear it alone, well then you turn to a friend close to your heart.
Holy shit, that's like really good in real life advice.
I wanted to tell you right away about memories from the past that sleep within you, and about the pieces that will tie you to your future.
We find out that the letter Mickey wrote to Sora let him know everything about what had happened to his Data self, and why he must embark on the new journey.
The question is, what does Xehanort intend to do next?
Xehanort? But his two halves are gone. There was Ansem, who commanded the Heartless, and Xemnas, who commanded the Nobodies. Didn't Sora defeat them both?
Correct. Those two met their end. However, therein lies exactly our problem. Their destruction now guarantees the original Xehanort's reconstruction.
Huh?
Xehanort's heart, once seized by his heartless half, is now free, and his body, which had become his nobody, has been vanquished. Both halves will now be returned to the whole. In short, this means Master Xehanort will return.
Oh boy, that's not good. That's not good at all. Damn it! Why is it when we do a good thing, that's not actually a good thing?
Well, it doesn't matter what he cooks up. Me and Sora, we'll be ready. And Riku too.
Yes, they are indeed strong, but not true Keyblade masters like you. Tell me, would a single one of you suffice if what you faced was not a single one of him?
That's super ominous.
Mickey, please summon Sora hither. Riku as well.
Of course, but why?
To show us the mark of mastery.
Oh yeah, Sora and Riku get to take the mark of mastery.
That was more difficult than I thought, but at least things are on track. Lord Xemnas is nowhere to be seen, so that means the party's already begun, huh?
The secret ending shows the organization reformed into their somebodies, and as usual, Greg knows a little too much, further setting up his real identity.
I will be led wherever it is I am destined to go.
The mysterious figure ended up being who we thought. Well, to a degree. It's young Xehanort.
So, which poor soul will it be?
A new detail I never noticed, he started forming the S sound, giving you a slight hint for Dream Drop distance. I don't dislike Coded. As a matter of fact, it's really fun to play. However, its biggest flaw to me is that most of it feels like it's unnecessary. The biggest things that happen is we find out Maleficent and Pete survive, also learning about the Book of Prophecies. The cast find out about the hearts that need mending, which we already knew about, and Xehanort's revival. Honestly, this could have been added as a few cutscenes in Dream Drop Distance. The other big thing that I have an issue with is there is a lot of character growth and development for characters that aren't the main cast. It's not like Data Sora's experiences are mapped onto OG Sora's, so the growth that he went through felt like it didn't really matter. Sure, we got some visual closure between the two boys, but we can already see that by how they act towards each other. Everything is good between the two. I don't know, maybe it's just me. You can all tell me if I'm wrong, but Coded is just plain weird. I had a fun time with the actual game, placing my skills into a motherboard, going into the code and clearing it out, and having unique gimmicks for each world. It's pretty cool playing a side-scrolling version and an old-school RPG version in Kingdom Hearts, but it's one of the few misses that Kingdom Hearts has made, in my opinion. Welcome to the Twitter section of this review. First off, we've got Keyboy, says he thinks the story is really weak, especially compared to Days or Chain of Memories, at least. And I do agree, the story is incredibly weak compared to these smaller titles. I wouldn't really consider Birth by Sleep one of those, but Chain of Memories and Days were kind of the shorter, smaller titles, and it's pretty weak compared to that, especially when you consider there's only like 3 major things happening. I already listed those before. And they could have all pretty much just been cutscenes to Dream Drop Distance or something. I get it, they probably just had a filler game and had a little dumb, goofy idea they wanted to use, but it didn't really work for me as much as, it could have. Leon says, I love the multiple styles of gameplay featured in it, and ultimately bridging a gap within the story, which was unexpected to me. While I don't quite think that, like I said, the little story bits bridge that much of a gap, it does still bridge a gap. I was still shocked when I originally played it that Xehanort was back. Maleficent and Pete, I kind of assumed they weren't goners, but, it's kind of nice to see them back, and it's nice to see them gather the whole gang up here. It's kind of a nice little additional chapter thing that they went through. It's not too bad. And the multiple styles of gameplay featured in it, I definitely like that too. Like I said, I like the little RPG you could do in, I think it was Olympus Coliseum, and like the side-scroller in Traverse Town. There's a couple little change-ups to the gameplay here and there, and it is pretty cool that you can put all of your abilities into like a little motherboard, circuit board thing, and have that instead of like your traditional just level up system, equip your abilities, or like in Days where you had a panel. They did enough neat stuff that it's still fun to play. So Mr. Mojo says, I've never actually played this one myself, but I do like the deeper dive into their concept of animism, especially since it seems to be playing an important role in terms of where the story is currently at, with them looking to Data as a possible clue to where Sora is. I actually never considered that, but I do like that as well. I like very much that, them looking for Sora within memories and within Data that they have, granted, Kairi's deep, dark memories from her time in Hollow Bastion is like the key to finding out where he is, along with, I forget who it is in the End of the World, or it's not the end of the world, but it's just like the end of the world, but basically where you die. But a combination of all that led to them finding Sora, but digging through Kairi's memories, similar in a way to digitizing Jiminy's journal, is what got them to actually find him. So I did think that was a pretty cool thing that they did. And lastly, Toxic Pixel says that she really likes the idea of worlds created in a computer, further exploring this after Kingdom Hearts 2. Fully agree, especially because Tron was my favorite world out of all of those. But more strictly through the lens of the main character being aware that it's a computer for a good... Roxas was not aware of that for a good while after all. That's true, they were pretty upfront with Sora, like, hey, you're a computer program of our friend, and we need your help, and Data Sora's just like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'm still Sora, I'm gonna help you guys. She said she also likes the virus Heartless. It's a fun idea to give a new life to an already well-known enemy. Again, I fully agree, especially the Data-coded virus Darkseid, that thing looks friggin' cool. And getting to fight those blocks with the little spider legs is kind of a neat little twist on an enemy that we've already seen. The spider barrel and the pop spider, things like that. And she said that's really about it. Yeah, the rest is just should have made into a bonus episode for another game, really. I've said that already, and I'll say it again. I fully agree. Don't really think we needed this entire game, but I'm still happy that it's here because, we get more Kingdom Hearts, and more Kingdom Hearts is always good. I don't consider Coded bad. I just think that it's a little unnecessary. There's a lot in here that's not doing much. The other huge one is Union Cross, but I'll talk about that another time. Thank you for watching, and try not to lose your heart out there.
Sora, when Nominee's words are passed on to you, when the day comes that you learn of this great, unknown, and mysterious adventure, it's important that you understand, whatever you feel in your heart, that's what he felt in his.
Guess who's back again? This means Master Xehanort will return.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!